We often fail to realize that we are trapped in a whirlwind of unrealistic expectations, making joy and happiness fragile. Sometimes, even our closest relationships become the source of anxiety and profound disappointment. Perhaps you stand at the threshold of a major event, such as a painful breakup, even though the affection has not yet faded, or enduring isolation from toxic colleagues, severely affecting your personal life. Or even, you might be caught in family conflicts, where differences in perspectives and consciousness cannot be reconciled. In such moments, you might wonder if there is a key to unlocking the door to inner peace. The answer lies deep within the philosophy of self-discipline, where the concept of detachment shines like a lighthouse in the dark, showing the way to tranquility. Detachment is not advice for indifference, but a meaningful journey where we live beautifully in each moment without being imposed by the outcome. Therefore, in today's video, we invite you to explore the power of detachment through 7 steps of separating oneself and circumstances. Turn it into a tool to overcome the storms in relationships, work, and facing challenges. But before we start this journey, I have a small challenge for you. Watch the video to the end and take all the principles. Just one of the following 7 steps will help you discover yourself and live fully every moment. And if you overcome this challenge, leave a comment below this video. Step number 1. Establish limits for your feelings. In this tumultuous life, setting limits on our emotions becomes an important lesson, not only to protect ourselves, but also to preserve the relationships we cherish. Stoicism opens a door of insight into how we can consciously regulate our emotions, not by denying them, but by accepting and controlling them in the light of reason. When we take the time to understand our emotions, we not only discover the real reasons behind our reactions, but also learn how to face them wisely. This requires patience and self-discipline to recognize when emotions begin to overwhelm reason and decide not to let them control your actions. There are times when solving your problems becomes a top priority, not only to protect your mental health, but also to be able to support others more effectively. This should not be seen as a selfish act, but as part of self-care. Through the COVID-19 pandemic, we have learned valuable lessons about the importance of loving and taking care of ourselves. The pandemic has highlighted that not only physical health, but also mental health needs to be a priority. This self-care is not limited to maintaining physical health through a balanced diet and exercise, but also includes nurturing the soul through personal hobbies, rest time, and setting healthy limits in relationships. Through this, we can create an environment that supports personal growth and also helps others in a more meaningful way. On the other hand, respecting each other's personal space and boundaries in a relationship is also a form of love. When we allow others the space to freely express and grow, we not only help them feel respected and valued, but also encourage independence and confidence. This is a solid foundation for a healthy relationship, where each individual has the opportunity for self-actualization and at the same time supports each other. Refusing to listen or help others is not always inconsiderate. Sometimes it's the wisest choice to protect our mental health and ensure that when we return, we can truly support them most effectively. In these moments, setting limits on our emotions is more important than ever, allowing us to stay grounded and not be overwhelmed by external pressure. Ultimately, setting emotional limits is not only a step forward in the journey of personalization and autonomy, but also an inspiration to those around you. When we learn to live fully and meaningfully in an ever-changing world, we not only improve our mental health, but also create a positive impact on the environment around us, encouraging others also find balance and happiness in their lives. Step number 2. Talk with someone you can trust. Learning to detach oneself from others and surrounding situations can sometimes make us feel like we are facing a vast world alone. It is then that seeking resonance and sharing with a trustworthy friend becomes a lifesaver, a pillar in the storm, helping us realize that we are not alone. Therefore, talk to someone you can trust in step 2 is not just advice. It is a survival strategy, a way to find oneself again. When we open up and share our concerns, worries, or even small joys with someone, we are not just seeking comfort or solutions. We are performing a powerful act to explore and redefine our limits. Each story helps us build a strong wall against the invasion of negative emotions and undesirable situations. Consider the story of Max, who recently felt engulfed in a series of stressful situations due to conflicts with colleagues at work. Max felt tired and unbalanced, worried that this would negatively affect his ability to maintain peace and the necessary detachment from difficult situations. Deciding to seek support, Max contacted Alex, a longtime friend and someone knowledgeable about Stoicism. During their conversation, Max shared his worries and challenges. Alex listened sincerely and then shared his perspective on maintaining calm in life's storms, emphasizing that each challenge is an opportunity to strengthen will and intelligence. Through this conversation, Max realized that seeking and accepting support does not betray the principles of Stoicism, but is part of the self-improvement and development process. Max felt encouraged and gained the strength to continue his journey with a peaceful soul and a sharper intellect, remembering that emotional independence also needs connection and sharing. Sharing with a trustworthy friend is like opening a new door, allowing the light of understanding and empathy to dispel the darkness of loneliness and confusion. Thus, we not only create a positive distance from what we want to separate, but also reaffirm our value and inner strength. This is the essence of Stoic philosophy, not to avoid the world, but to learn to face and overcome it with calmness and determination. We all have many relationships, but who is truly someone you trust and share with? For you, who is that person? What is your story with them? Feel free to share your story in the comments below. We are very eager to listen. Step number 3. Consider the rationality of distancing yourself. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca once emphasized, "What you think about yourself is much more important than what others think of you." This statement is not just advice. but also a core principle that Stoic philosophy encourages us to implement. In the journey of detaching ourselves from people and situations that may annoy us, an important step is to rationally consider maintaining a distance. Imagine living in a family where every day you face intense arguments and skepticism from family members about the career you are pursuing. You find yourself drawn into arguments with your parents. Regardless of what you do, the feeling of being controlled and uncomfortable never leaves you. In such a situation, rationally considering maintaining a distance becomes extremely important. By detaching yourself from these arguments and tensions within the family, you not only keep your mind clear, but also protect your peace and balance. This not only benefits the mind, but also facilitates stronger personal growth. You can spend time and energy on positive activities and relationships outside the family, thereby supporting and promoting your personal development positively. By detaching yourself from these people and situations, you are not only protecting your mental health, but also creating a space for yourself to relax and grow. This helps you focus deeply and positively on your personal goals and values, rather than being dominated by negative factors around you. Rationally maintaining a distance is not just a self-protective measure, but also a part of the self-care and development process, where you live a happy and meaningful life pursuing the goals and values you truly believe in. Let me expand further on the meaning and consequences of maintaining a distance. When you rationally consider and proactively decide to detach yourself from negative people or situations, you are creating a positive and healthy environment for yourself. By doing so, you not only keep your spirit clean and alert, but also enhance your resilience and empathy towards others. At the same time, maintaining a distance also facilitates the freedom to express yourself and develop your skills, ideas, and potential confidently and uninfluenced by opinions or control from outside. So, leave a comment, practice distancing if you have learned a lesson for yourself through step number 3. Step number 4. Thoughtfully consider the consequences of distancing. Although at step 3, you are advised to disengage, step number 4 confronts you with an unavoidable question: what are the consequences of disengagement? This is not just a simple step, but a necessary conversation with yourself about the potential consequences that not everyone is brave enough to face. Understand that every action and every choice carries a picture of consequences, woven not just for oneself, but also for the connections in our lives. Retreating is not always a therapeutic measure. It can lead to unforeseen outcomes. More importantly, never underestimate the power of human connection. Once you decide to retreat, it can cause pain not only to yourself, but also to the souls you are connected with. Carefully consider the impacts of this decision, from broken relationships to the loneliness that can pressure your spirit and soul. At this moment, wisdom and patience become your steadfast companions. Pause, reflect, and consider all possibilities. Do not let fleeting emotions or instincts govern your decisions. Be a visionary thinker and carry a courageous spirit willing to accept the consequences of your actions. I need you to focus for a moment and think about this. Every time you retreat, you might be stepping further away from the world's noise, but you might also be detaching from the warmth of human connection. Every time you set boundaries, you might be fortifying your inner castle. However, you might also be building walls, isolating yourself from shared experiences that enrich and give meaning to life. Remember, to those journeying through the soul's voyage, that in the vast world of existence, every action has a reaction, and every decision has a consequence. So, as you ponder on the threshold of retreat, do so with the responsibility it deserves. In the whirlpool of thought lies the rationale of understanding, and in the resolve to face the consequences of action lies our essence. Isn't this an exciting journey, where you are introduced to the practical lessons and knowledge that Stoic philosophy has brought into your life? Before we move to step 5, I have another challenge for you. Like and share this video, because every action of yours will help us bring Stoic philosophy to even more people. Step number 5. Step away from that person for a while. Why is it necessary to distance oneself for a while? This is because, during moments of stress and pressure, we humans often get caught up in the whirlwind of emotions and immediate reactions without taking enough time to think calmly and soberly. Especially when emotions become too difficult to control, we may lose the ability to view things objectively and thus react in ways that do not truly reflect our essence and values. In this context, creating a temporary distance, a space to breathe and reflect becomes essential. Imagine you and a close friend of yours get into a heated argument due to a difference in opinions. Both of you feel angry, and each word and each action only makes things worse. In moments like these, continuing the dialogue only adds to the misunderstanding and causes deeper wounds. Instead, you decide to create distance, taking time for both to settle emotions and think about the situation from a different perspective. More importantly, reflecting on how you reacted could be the most important step towards reconciliation and deeper understanding between the two. For example, after you and your close friend create some distance, you spend time alone, walking in the park, thinking about the deeper causes of the conflict. You realize that part of your frustration comes from the pressure and stress at work, not entirely because of your friend's actions. When you meet again, you open up about this realization. From there, both of you find a new direction in the relationship, a new way to understand and respect each other more. Through creating space and time to reflect, we not only learn how to resolve conflicts more effectively, but also develop the ability to self-control and higher self-awareness, important qualities of a peaceful and positive life philosophy. This is not just a lesson in patience and self-control, but also a process of self-development and self-discovery about oneself and the relationships around us. By applying this approach, you not only solve the immediate problem, but also build a solid foundation for positive and sustainable interactions in the future. More importantly, The time apart helps you realize the importance of showing gratitude and appreciation for those around you. When you come back after the distance, you often feel more appreciative of what you have, realizing the real value of a sincere apology, a warm hug, or simply someone's presence beside you in difficult times. In summary, creating a temporary distance between you and stressful situations or relationships is not only an effective method to reduce stress and find solutions to the problem, it is also an important step in the journey of self-development, an opportunity for you to reconsider yourself and your values and priorities in life. When you learn to create and use this distance wisely, you not only solve the immediate difficulties, but also open a new path for personal development and harmony in all relationships. Before moving on to step 6, let's visit the story of Jack, a talented software developer, famous in the tech community for his breakthrough projects. Every evening, he would spend time after work browsing tech forums and answering questions from the community. However, he began to feel the stress from the pressure to always be online and active, leading to an imbalance between work and life. Therefore, Jack decided to undertake an important practice in Stoic philosophy. This decision provided Jack with a peaceful and quiet space, helping him focus on personal development and reflect on his life's priorities. Taking this break helped him focus more on creativity and improve his programming skills, pursuing his principle of living a meaningful and self-directed life. Any one of us could have experiences like Jack, living in the era of 4.0, where social media and information explode. We always have to be online to prove our presence and seek recognition from others. But to find a solution and isolate ourselves from circumstances, like Jack's situation, then practicing the following step 6 will be a breakthrough step that helps you escape from the shell you created for yourself and live with your true self. Step number 6. Give yourself a break from social media. Marcus Aurelius, a beacon of Stoic philosophy, eloquently expressed the virtue of finding peace within oneself, rather than in the shadows of external accolades. In this light, pausing social media use is not a retreat, but a reclaiming of our inner sanctum from the relentless demands of external validation. By pausing social media, we liberate ourselves from the chains of comparison and competition that social media often nurtures. It is in the quiet distance from electronic noise that we rediscover the power of the present moment. This practice allows us to live more authentically, experiencing the world directly through our senses without any filters. Epictetus, another revered Stoic philosopher, likened the mind to a fertile garden. Just as a garden needs careful tending to prevent weeds from taking over, our minds thrive when nourished and protected from the negative seeds and distractions that social media sows. A pause from social media provides the clarity and mental peace necessary to nurture the garden of our soul, creating thoughts and actions that reflect our true values and aspirations. This time for reflection allows us to reconsider our lives, focusing on what truly matters: personal growth, meaningful relationships, and pursuing a life aligned with Stoic virtues. In this peaceful detachment, we discover a more meaningful way of living, valuing our inner peace over the chaos of the outside world. It's a journey back to our true selves, guided by the Stoic ideal of living a purposeful, upright, and peaceful life. The silence and solitude we find away from social media are not voids, but spaces filled with potential for personal growth and self-discovery. In this quiet, we encounter the peace we have been seeking, not amid noise and distraction, but in the sacred space of ourselves. Are you ready to try pausing social media? I have a challenge for you. Leave a comment with how many days you commit to pausing social media and show your determination to follow through. For example, I'm committed to pausing social media for 7 days. Set a specific goal for yourself and achieve it. You will discover the true value Stoicism brings to you. Step number 7. Focus deliberately on your fundamental needs. In the final step, shift your focus from the external world to within yourself. This is the heart of Stoic philosophy, where we have the opportunity to manage our souls, learn about our values and dreams, and determine what is important to our lives. As we learn to detach ourselves from people and situations that no longer serve our highest good, we are not just avoiding external impacts, but embarking on an inward journey to reconnect with our most basic needs. Self-care here is not limited to prioritizing physical health through exercise and nutrition, but also includes nurturing the mind and soul through activities that promote peace and clarity. We seek satisfaction from within, an emotional self-reliance process where we learn to recognize and manage our emotions healthily, preventing them from dictating our state. Daily self-reflection is an essential part of distinguishing basic needs from temporary desires, helping us identify what truly matters and deserves our time and energy. Through this, we learn to differentiate between what we can control and what is beyond our grasp, guiding us to invest in personal growth and self-improvement. Inner peace becomes the primary goal in this effort, requiring us to practice returning to our center and establishing boundaries to protect our mental and emotional health. This not only helps us maintain calm amid life's storms, but also allows us to say no to demands and yes to experiences that enrich our lives. Ultimately, focusing on our basic needs gives us the chance to live a life in harmony with our core values and life's purpose. We are encouraged to live authentically and purposefully, no longer dependent on external validation, but finding fulfillment in ourselves and our contributions. In this final step, detaching from the unnecessary and embracing our true essence leads to a meaningful and peaceful life. This is the heart of Stoic philosophy, where we find the strength to manage our souls, explore our values and dreams, and determine what is most important to our own lives. We have just explored a wonderful journey, guided by advice from Stoic philosophy to learn how to detach ourselves from relationships and situations that no longer serve our development. This is not only a lesson in spiritual freedom, but also an important step towards independence and inner peace. These moments of reflection can open up a new world of self-understanding and acceptance, allowing us to view life from a new, promising, and capable perspective. So, if these lessons have touched your heart, please leave a like and share this video with loved ones and friends you feel will be inspired. Let me know your thoughts on today's lesson. Which step impressed you the most? Are you ready to apply them to your life? Or leave a comment on how you overcame the challenge to watch the video to let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so we can continue our journey of exploring inner peace and mental strength together. Click and watch the next videos displayed on the screen to watch the lessons to become a true Stoic. Remember, every step you take, every decision you make, write your own story. Thank you for joining us today, and see you in the next videos.